Hello, everyone, and welcome to Planners Knowledge Pop-Up Podcast, where we interview authors and we learn about their books, themselves, and their writing process. I am super excited today to have my guest, and actually today I have two guests. I have one now and one later on. So if you are not subscribed to my Ask Dr. Walls 525 YouTube channel, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button right now because we will be having authors come on throughout this month. As we know, people are getting ready for the holiday season, they're looking to buy gifts, and books are great gifts. Of course, I am the author of The Adventures of Froggy T and Bunny, a hip hop tale. There go my babies right there. All right, so you can definitely check that out. Good afternoon, everyone. If you could put where you're in from in the chat and say your greetings. If you have any questions for the authors as they come on, be sure to put them in the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. But our first guest today for the 12 o'clock hour is Miss Deana Davis, LSW. She is a licensed social worker. Many of you know her as my co-host on The Greatest Blueprint, and she also does her self-love. She is a self-love coach. Hey there. She is a self-love coach. She is a therapist. She is so many wonderful things. I know she's backstage laughing right now. She is also a stylist, just in a fashion diva in her own right. So I'll probably have her. Well, it's not. I will. I'll have her on the Flowering Fashionista one day. But today, she's here to talk about her books. So let me bring her up with a good tambourine welcome. Let me grab my tambourines. And here she comes. Hello.
Hi, Dr. Walls. Thank you for having me. Yes, I was in backstage laughing. hmm Putting all my
That's
business out there.
That's
Okay.
right. I put it all out there. People
Yes.
can be like, "Oh, stylist. Oh, she can
Yes.
help with that too."
And then here I come with the
That's right, with the papal.
right.
Yes. Leslie say hello. Regina
Hi,
Goodrich says
Leslie.
hello and
Hi,
say happy
everyone.
Monday. And so yeah, so we are here to talk about your books today. So you're going to get an
Yes.
official Dr. Walls interview.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I've ever experienced one, so this should be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes, it should.
hmm
All right. So let's tell the people a little bit about you. I shared that you are a social worker. And the reason why I think it's important for people to get to know you, the person, a little bit is because we have so many people who want to become authors. And sometimes they'll say things like, oh, I can't become an author. People don't, want to hear my story or my story is just for me. And I know for me, it was a conversation that I had with someone in 2006. And he said to me, when are you going to realize that there's an audience just for you? It's time for you to
hmm
write your book.
hmm
Now, that seed stayed in me. I didn't write my first book until 2009,
Mm,
but that was a seed that was planted. And we
okay.
know with all seeds, right, they take time for them to
hmm
grow. Some sprout very quickly, other take years, honestly,
Yeah.
before we
hmm
start to see the fruit from them grow. And so,
hmm
planner's knowledge is God being the planter, the knowledge
hmm
inside of us, and then the greater seeds as it grows, it comes forward. All right,
Right.
in each of us.
hmm
So, all that being said, you are an author, but tell us a little bit about you that then led you up to becoming this author.
Well, being an author wasn't necessarily on my list of things to do
Mm-hmm.
within my career. It kind of just came about. I created a group for women called the Blueprint for Self Love, and then the pandemic hit, and so the group is a 6 week course where we like 8 to 10 women get together,
Mm-hmm.
and we do a group therapy model in terms of like teaching women how to love themselves and getting back to them and getting to the root of their issues and growing and
Mm-hmm.
healing through relationships. And then the pandemic hit, and I said, okay, well, I still want to connect with the women. I still want to do something. So then I had to pivot, like most of, everyone else
The
had to
world.
pivot the
Mm-hmm.
world. When the world shut down, we all had to pivot. And so
Mm-hmm.
my pivot for the group was to create the journal, my book, my first book. And I published it in April of 2020. And that's just really how the birth of it, came. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
something that I was like, okay, well, I want to be an author. I never aspired to be an author, but
Mm-hmm.
it came and it took off. So that's
Okay.
how that happened.
Thank you. So let's
Mhm.
talk about that writing process. So as some people are listening, they're saying, that's me. Like I never thought about being an author either, but now all of a sudden I'm feeling this urge to
Mhm.
write. Or, in my first story of The Adventures of Froggy T and Bunny, it started out as a poem for
Right.
someone's birthday. And then when I kept reading it, it was like, if I flesh this out, this will be a
Mhm.
really good children's story.
Mhm.
And I followed that internal guidance. Little did I know, once that story came out, six more stories would come
Yes.
hopping behind it,
Right.
right?
And still going.
And still going.
Mhm.
Exactly. So with you, you said this wasn't something that I wanted to do, but yet with the pivot, you found yourself doing it. So
Mhm.
how did you choose the style? Well, first, let's tell the people the name of the first book, because
Okay.
right? There's
Mhm.
two books, but
Yes.
this is the first one. Tell them
Yes.
about it. Tell them the name and how it came to pass. Oh, how
Okay.
you chose the title.
Okay. So this is the first book. I don't know how to flip it, but okay. It is
No,
the
it's
30
good.
day challenge, self-love workbook challenge. And so this book, I wanted it to be a journal style. Like I didn't want it to be like a novel or anything. I didn't really want to tell my life story. I wanted it to be like a 30-day guide to help women to get back to loving themselves, especially during the pandemic. We had
Mm-hmm.
nothing but time. So it was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is the perfect time to meditate or go in nature or journal because we had nothing but time. And so the first couple of pages are 30 days of examples of things that you can do to tap back into your self love, like tap back into yourself to embark on your self love journey. And then
Mm-hmm.
the pages after that are journal prompts and spaces for you to answer the journal questions. And then in the
Mm-hmm.
back, there is a reflection page where you can, reflect on your previous 30 days. And you can repeat the cycle. You can rinse and repeat it as many times as you
Mm-hmm.
want to.
Mm-hmm.
I suggested for people that purchased it to write your answers in a separate book so that way you can always go back to it and refer to it, and it's always clean and fresh for whenever you want to restart your 30-day process.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is the first baby.
Yes. And so, what was that like for you, the writing process for you, deciding on what prompts to choose?
It was fairly easy. This self love journey is really based off of my journey with myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so I simply just asked myself the questions like, what did I need during that time, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of root based questions. So it's like, who are you? Who taught you self love? Who impacted you in a negative and a positive way? So it's things that I utilize myself, but I also utilize on my clients. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really to get your brain and your juices flowing in regards to where the breakdown occurred within your self love journey, or if it never even occurred, like where to
Mm-hmm.
start. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
base. I feel as though this is the base of your self love journey. This is the start of it. If you never have thought about loving yourself, this is the book to
This is
utilize
the
to start
book
that
for
journey.
you.
This is
Yes.
the book for you. Now, then it's going to be a commercial. If you
Yes.
never thought about,
There
yes,
you go. Give it to him. Give
right.
it to him.
If you never thought about loving yourself and you
Mm-hmm.
need a base, a
Yes.
roots of
Yes.
where to start, this is the book for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My 30-day self love challenge.
Yes.
All right, I'm done. That's
I
your
like it.
lane.
Look,
Right.
look, I like it. You can do that after the show. We'll see
Right.
that. Y'all go ahead
The
and check
commercials.
Instagram. Check
Oh my
Instagram. You'll
gosh.
see it.
Mr. Emmett is going to love it. He's going to be like,
Yes.
yes, that's it. Do another one. I
Well, I
got you.
like the fact, right? Because you are, Leslie is cracking up and she said, congratulations. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to Planners Knowledge Podcast. You are listening to author Deana Davis. I know it's probably weird to hear you announce that way.
Yes.
Yes, but that's what you are. You are listening to author Deana Davis. She is a self love coach. Please be sure to put in the chat where you are joining us from. If you have some questions, please feel free to also put them in the chat as well. We will try to get to as many as we can.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, to your point, this is a good beginning point for
Yes.
people who are interested in entering that self love journey. Do you
Journal
feel
and
as
journey.
yes, exactly, right? The journal journey. Do you? We got people coming from uptown in Philly. We have people coming from
Ooh,
Cali. We have people
hey,
from
Callie.
Atlanta. We got,
Mm.
she said in Target in Atlanta.
Oh, listen. I love a Tarjay, okay?
Okay,
Anywhere.
we
Take me to
appreciate
the
it.
different ones around the world.
We got another uptown joining us.
Yes.
All
Hey,
right.
Uptown.
So tell us this. Is this something that someone can do on their own, or would you recommend they do it with a therapist, with a friend, with a loved one? How can they utilize this?
All of the above. It really depends on you as an individual. If you want to do it by yourself, this is more than, you could do it by yourself. If you want to do it with your therapist, I've had clients purchase the book and we walk through, the prompts together. I've had
Hmm.
clients purchase it for their friends and they do it together, family members. I made it purposely like that because I wanted it to be open for everyone. So if it's a mother and a daughter, the mother can see like, oh, well, I never taught her this because I never knew this.
Hmm.
So it's essentially
Hmm.
breaking those patterns, those generational patterns as well, and
Hmm.
hopefully creating better patterns for the generations, to come.
To
So,
come. I love
mhm.
that. We have a whoop whoop from Penn
Woo
Med
woo.
in between appointments. So hello. Yeah.
Yes.
So I love that idea of it becoming a family exercise.
Hmm.
And also, potentially, I'm even thinking sisters.
Yes.
But I know you tend to work a lot with women, but is this something that men can use as well?
Absolutely. A lot of my male clients, I give them the same prompts and questions, and I probe them and I push them the same way that I push my females because I feel as though this isn't yes, my practice is primarily geared towards women, but
Hmm.
it's open to everyone because self love is a universal thing that needs to be increased within, society as a whole. So, yeah,
Hmm.
it's not just for women, it's for men, women, children, grandparents, it's for
Hmm.
everyone.
It doesn't
Hmm.
start right. There's no age in which it can start and or stop because, as you
Exactly.
mentioned, right, it is a journey. Would you
Hmm.
do us the honor of reading a piece, one of the prompts,
The
something from the book?
questions.
Yeah, just pick any
Okay,
page,
let me
or
see.
let's ask the people what page do you want her to go to? What page? Put a page number in the chat,
Hmm.
and if there's something specifically that you want to read, please feel free.
Okay.
Let's see. We get somebody put number 9, page 9. Somebody else put page 13.
Hmm. Okay. Let me see. What's on page 13?
Somebody else put 27.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna go to 27. See what's on 27. Okay, 27. I mean, they all are pretty good.
Okay.
Yes. So I can read like the first question because it's the starter question and then it's a ending question. So I can read the
Okay.
starter questions for each one. So on
Okay.
number 9, it says, "What are some ways you currently exhibit self-love?"
Mm,
Hmm.
very good question. Somebody else put 11.
Okay.
Very good question. So, what are the current ways that you exhibit self? How did you come up with your questions?
Again, me,
Hmm.
thinking of things that I needed within myself, ways that I needed to grow, questions that, my mentor, you have asked
Hmm.
me, just incorporating everything. And just, being transparent and letting the people know, like, I'm not far removed from this journey as well. Um,
Hmm.
and so, yeah, so these questions I had to ask myself, like, literally during my healing journey. And the healing journey never ends. So
Mm-hmm.
during the beginning phases of me shifting into this new phase of my healing journey, I had to figure out who I was, what I wanted, what I liked, what I didn't like, and
Mm-hmm.
what did self-love mean to me. Because I
Mm-hmm.
kept being in this repeated pattern of being in situations where I wasn't loved properly. And so it just clicked one day, and I said, okay, if I keep repeating, like receiving the same patterns in relationships, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something within me that I have to change. And so these questions, they literally just came. It was just like I just kept writing and writing and writing, and then yeah. So I realized that I was not loving myself properly, and I said, well, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not loving myself properly, I know it's other women, people that are not doing the same, and I knew that I wasn't taught to love myself, so
Mm-hmm.
I had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Put a two in the chat if this is resonating with you. You know, like me too. I get it. Been there, done that. Had to
Toot
learn these
toot.
things myself. Two, two. Put a two.
Right.
Put a two in there. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Yes, the twos are
Okay.
coming through.
Okay. Come on to so number 11 is funny because when I was preparing for our live today,
Mm-hmm.
number 11 popped up. So I wasn't going to say anything, but since it came up, number 11, the first question is, who are you?
Mm.
Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought as though that was a very deep question to
Yes.
ask for myself and to ask other people, because most people are not asked that question, like, who are you?
Yes.
Who is that?
I don't know. But it's hitting them.
Yes,
Leslie says she is journaling too. She
yes,
is on it. She
yes.
is on it.
And it's
So
so that if you can see the inside of the book, I don't know if it's like clear,
here
but
we go. That's
there are
nice.
questions and then there's space, and underneath where you could like write if you want to write in the book, but you can write outside
Mm-hmm.
the book. It doesn't have to be inside the book. So,
Mm-hmm.
that who are you question, it always sits everyone right in
Yeah.
the gut, because it's like,
But
wait, I don't know. Like, yeah.
they said, come on, 11. Yes.
Yes.
It does. These are really important questions, and I do love the fact that you created a space for people to sit and write, because so many times I know as clinicians we tell people to journal all the time, and
Mhm.
many times it's like I don't know what to write or I don't want
Yeah.
to journal, and so by creating a book such as this, you're giving people the prompt and the focus
Right.
to write.
hmm Yeah. So I tell my clients, like, just take like 5 or 10 minutes a day
Hmm.
to, once they're really serious about embarking on their self love journey, I say, okay, let's start with the book. Take 5 or 10 minutes a day. With me, it's always about baby steps. So
Hmm.
I don't expect them to write like a 5 page paper, but you can give yourself 5 minutes to check in with yourself, at least to look at the questions. And if you don't have an answer, take the day to think of it and then come
Hmm.
back to it at a later time. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
And I'm so glad that you said that. So the title, show the people again, because we have some new people joining us.
Yeah.
So, right, again, this is the 30-day challenge, self-love challenge, right? 30-day
hmm
challenge workbook. Do
hmm
you have to do it in 30 days?
No, no. You don't have to do it in 30 days. It could be, spread over the time span. It's really whatever works for you. It doesn't have to be 30 days. Now, for my people that are like, I'm ready, and they're
Hmm.
like, I'm going to do this, I'm dedicated to myself, then 30 days is good for them. But everyone doesn't have the time. It may
Hmm.
be triggering. Some of the questions may be triggering. You
Hmm.
may need more time to process. So
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be within 30 days. It's
Hmm.
whatever your time span is.
Okay, very good. All right, what else? What else? I know there were a couple other pages. We
I think we
had
said 13.
13 and 27.
Okay. 13 is, what negative thoughts do you have about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
hmm Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What type of feedback have you gotten from the questions and those who have worked through the book?
It's hard. I don't know what to say. What do I write down? I always say, well, what do you feel? Like, what negative
Mm-hmm.
thoughts do you have about yourself? What's the
Mm-hmm.
origin? How are you working through them? How does it impact your life? Does it
Mm-hmm.
impact your life? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. First, like if I have a new client that isn't familiar with my style, they're like, well, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm supposed to write down. And there's no
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong answer. Sometimes
That's
people
right.
think that it has to be a cookie cutter answer or the right answer. And I'm just like, no, I just want you to answer
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, just answer
Exactly.
it. Because once you answer it, it opens up and it helps you to flow and answer other questions, right? So
Mm-hmm.
once you get used to asking yourself these hard questions, then it trickles over to your other relationships where you have to have hard conversations because you're used to having these hard conversations with yourself.
That's right.
So,
That's right. Very good.
yeah,
I can run off on so many different pieces of that
yes,
right
I
now,
know.
but I'm going to hold back just for a moment so
Okay.
that you can do the next one.
Okay, so the next on page 27, the next question is, what, if any, toxic traits do you have?
Ugh,
Hmm.
really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not always about everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
We carry and we create toxic traits as well, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a learned behavior or, we just adapt it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have toxic traits as well. It's about you willing to identify them and change the trait. So that's
Yeah.
the process. That's the healing process.
Yes. All right. So I know people, Shay is saying 11 and then 13 come on. So y'all can hardly imagine what 12 is. And the only way
Right.
you're going to find out is by getting that book, right?
Right.
She said, Lord have mercy, toxic traits. Look,
Yes.
yes, exactly. Right. These are things that we need to look at. And
Mhm.
so here, this 30-day self-love challenge, where can people get this book?
It's available on Amazon. If you type
Hmm.
in my name, Deana Davis, my
Hmm.
LSW, it should pop up. You can also go through my social media, Instagram and TikTok, Deana Davis underscore LSW. And it's one of the links in my LinkedIn. It's like maybe like the second to last link. So yeah, everything is on there, linked up.
There we go. Everything's linked up. All right. And
Yes.
I'm going to drop the link in the chat as well. I'll also be sure at the end of the show to write up when you go back for the replay that is in
Mhm.
there also.
Thank you.
So please be sure as people are listening to it, I know it's resonating with you.
Mhm.
Please, what did she say? Answer. Oh my goodness. She said answering the last two questions made me cry hard. All right.
Wow.
Okay. So now imagine actually going through it. These are
Yes.
just, I mean, obviously those are real questions from the book, but this is just a
Mhm.
moment you can see how powerful. Yes, Shay, I agree wholehearted. I'm waiting for it to pop up in the chat. Here it goes. Oh, Dr. Wade is, hey, Dr. Wade.
Mm.
She says self-reflection and introspection.
Introspect.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
Shay said, Christmas gifts,
Yes.
exclamation points.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. How much is the book retailing for?
The book is retailing for $17 on Amazon.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So can people order it from you also, or do they need to specifically get it from Amazon?
At this moment in time, specifically through Amazon, I don't want any
Okay.
delays with Christmas gifts and everything. So yes.
Got it. Got
Mhm.
it. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Look, they on it. They put 17.99 in the chat. That's right. Thank y'all very much. I
Thank
love
you.
our audience. It's fantastic. Yes. Yes. Leslie said she started her journey 2 years ago.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic. So now you've done this, you did this book, like you said, in
Mhm.
2020. It is available in print and also, is it an ebook? Is it an electronic version as well? Or just
Electronic version will come from me. So
come
if you want an
directly from
electronic
you?
version, yeah, then you can just like email me or DM me, and I'll send you. We can do that transaction. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's an option as well.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden now, what was it like when you sold that first book?
It was. How was it? It was like I'm an author. Like people want my book. Like it was like so surreal, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, it was strictly digital. So like, because
Mm-hmm.
I was a new author. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do? So it was straight digital for
Mm-hmm.
a couple of months, and then,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a month. I think it was like a
Mm-hmm.
digital for a month, and then in May, I published it through. KDP, Amazon, and it
Mhm.
was like
Mhm.
actual book.
Mhm.
But yeah, it went through the roof. And then
Mhm.
people were like, "Well, now I need the paperback copy." So it was like double sales. People
Mhm.
were purchasing both. So it's like they had the
Mhm.
digital for their iPads and their Kindles, and then they had the actual physical copy for when they wanted to travel and write
Mhm.
actually in the book. So
Mhm.
yeah, people,
Mhm.
my clients, their books be all rolled up,
Right.
like crinkle. I'm like, okay, y'all really working this book. Okay, let's go. But yeah, it
Yes.
really took off. It really took off
Mhm.
when I first dropped it, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was very well received.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Mhm.
was. And so I agree with Shay. I think these are great gifts. And especially now, as people are moving into the end of the year, this
Yeah.
is when so many times, right, people are making resolutions and they're saying they're
Mhm.
going to focus back on self. What a great guide
Yeah.
to assist people in that journey, right? And I don't
And it's
think to
so
your
easy. I mean, it's easy in the
hmm
sense of like when you're ready, right? Like the
hmm
questions are going to be hard, but if you're in a space where you're ready to heal and ready to grow and you want better for yourself, then you're ready. Like you're ready for these type of questions. So
hmm All right now. She said, just sent 3 to my Scorpio siblings.
yes.
Thank
Not the Scorpio
you.
siblings.
Look, thank you. Come on,
Yes, thank you
Shay.
so much.
Yes, yes. This is what we're talking about. This is
Yes,
why Planner's Knowledge Podcast is on, right? I mean, you're planting this seed of self-love. It's in us, right? You're nurturing that
yes.
seed,
Watering it.
watering it, definitely, and encouraging it to grow. So thank you, thank you. All right. So then that was book number 1, and I would imagine you thought you were one and done.
I did. I did. I was like, okay, check off the list, bucket list
Mm-hmm.
done. And
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't the case.
And what happened? What had happened was what
What
happened?
had happened was I had a lot of clients at a particular time that was going through a lot of heartbreak. And I
Mm-hmm.
found myself repeatedly saying the same thing over and over again. So it's like that, what is it in Living Color? Where it's like, you want to hear it, here it go.
Yes.
Here you go.
Yes.
Like you need everyone keeps having the same thing. Here I go. So I created my second book, How to Heal from a Heartbreak. That's
Mm-hmm.
just straight digital. And it was big, it's 5 ways to heal from a heartbreak. And it's like journal prompts and space for reflection in your answers as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my second baby that was birthed due to my clients needing it. And it was like, it was just easy. Like, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, what was one? Why did you choose just to keep it electronic and not create a paperback book from it? So let's start with
Well,
that one.
it's a very quick read, right? And so I was
Okay.
like, I ain't gonna do that to the trees, like, we're in this space of like, really seriously, we're in this space of digital, like
Mm-hmm.
iPads at the time, everybody was doing everything digital, so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
move into the digital space as well, and just keep it digital. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
very quick read. It's only five, maybe like 12 pages in it, if
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a very quick, short, like, okay, boop, 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 done.
Okay. Okay.
hmm
And where can
hmm
people get that one from?
That is also in my links in my bio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell them again your social media handles.
Social media handles Deana Davis underscore LSW on Instagram and on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
All right. I love this. I don't know who this LinkedIn user is, but I'm appreciating their
Tell us your
comments.
name.
Alex, thank you for joining us. It's a
Yes.
save a tree and save yourself. Love it.
Listen, come on. Yes. There it is.
I love it. Yes, exactly.
I love the trees too.
That's right. That's right. We love them trees. We
Yes,
appreciate them.
I'm a tree hugger.
Yes, for real. For real. All right. So you have the 30-day self-love challenge. You have 5 ways really how to heal from a heartbreak. Ah, it's Tanya.
Oh,
I
hey
love
Tanya.
Tanya. Wait, why her voice has changed with Tanya? She
Right.
cracking up.
Hey
So now you have these two,
Tanya.
right? What's next?
You would go there.
Of course.
So next, I am planning to create a planner, a self-love planner with a tracker. Just like drink your water, and did you meditate, and did you read, and all of the things that it's an extension of the workbook. But I want
Mm-hmm.
to include like a calendar and day to day activity, maybe like budgeting. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on getting that together now to drop hopefully for Black Friday. So
Okay.
it could be a good gift as
Mm-hmm.
well. So yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything for, and now y'all, this is because I know things behind the scenes, so I'm just going to poke her politely and kindly.
I'm like rolling my eyes. I don't even know what she about to ask. Come on, give it
Anything
to me.
specifically for teens?
I knew she was, I'm like, what could she ask? I am ironically, I thought of it today to
Mm-hmm.
finish the teen self-love journal
Mm-hmm.
and to create a whole separate component for the self-love group for teens. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to create or mimic what I do for the women, I want to do it for teen girls as well and getting that rolling. So yes, I was driving home this morning and I said I need to finish the teen journal. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
coming.
Okay. So now you are what is considered a micro influencer. For people who
Yes.
don't know what that is, would you please explain that to them?
Micro influencer, it's like in the middle. It's like I have
Mm-hmm.
34.2 thousand followers on Instagram. Not so much on TikTok, but that's the goal to get TikTok to be as big as my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm an influencer. So people, they look for my reviews. They look to me for a lot of things. It's a
Lifestyle.
heavy crown, but
Mm-hmm.
I carry it well. But
Yes.
yeah, so for all things like lifestyle, mental health, fashion,
Mm-hmm.
skincare, home stuff, places where to eat,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I give a lot of suggestions in regards to those areas. So
Mm-hmm. Jamila said, just side note, she said, as a Scorpio, I feel attacked. LOL.
that's what I said. Not the Scorpios. Like,
That's
what's
right.
she trying to say? But I do know some Scorpios that
That's
with
right.
it. So no shade, Jamila.
So you recognize your power and influence, and how does that tie into you being an author now?
Well, it not only ties into me being an author, but my self love brand as a
Mm-hmm.
whole. So the brand itself is a blueprint for self love.
Mm-hmm.
And being an author is an extension of the brand because the brand was created first. So the group was
Mm-hmm.
created first. The idea of creating this or curating a self love community for women that came before the author.
Mm-hmm.
The author is just an addition to it. And so my idea of that with me being a micro influencer is that I have to carry myself, a particular way. And not that I'm not far removed from what I'm, showing on social media,
How
but
you
it's like I
present.
really have to write how I present. I really have to
Mm-hmm.
exude. It's like you have to show up in a way that you are teaching people how to show up for themselves. And so
Mm-hmm.
me being an author and a self-love coach and a therapist, it just comes with a certain level of energy. For lack of better words, it's like I have to
Mm-hmm.
carry a certain energy as I'm moving forward. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
All right. So if there are some questions that people have, please feel free to put them in the chat. Even if
Mhm.
you're having questions about, you're thinking about being an author yourself and you're saying, okay, how do I get started?
Mhm.
Anything like that, put it in there. And that's
Yeah.
actually my question to you because I
Mhm.
have gotten that off screen as
Mhm.
far as people saying, all right, I want to do this, but I don't know how to do this.
Mhm.
And you mentioned KDP. Can you explain to people what KDP is and what that experience was like for you?
Well, okay, so KDP is Amazon slash Kindle's publishing distribution center, I believe. But
Hmm.
it's through Amazon. And so I had the amazing honor of having like a business coach, right? And you as my mentor, but my business
Hmm.
coach really like helped to push it through. Like I said, it was
Hmm.
digital before. And she's like, okay, we're gonna make it into a book. And I'm like, okay. So she
Hmm.
really walked me through the process. So I think, if you don't have people in your life that aren't familiar with it, it's best to either research it yourself through YouTube, or getting a mentor like myself, like I did rather. But I am a mentor to other people, so there's that. I forgot that part. But getting a mentor or connecting yourself with people who are familiar with the system,
Mm-hmm.
that's what made my transition very easy. Just having people that already knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Hmm.
And did you feel as though the KDP process was pretty straightforward and easy or simple?
Yeah, because it was fairly simple. I feel like it's something that
Mm-hmm.
you can learn on your own. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
have anyone, you can research it through YouTube, and it's very
Mm-hmm.
self-explanatory, step by
Mm-hmm.
step. Even with uploading like your images and everything, it's certain guidelines, that you have to fit in order for
Right.
things to be published. So
Right.
if your images are not wide enough or big enough, or they're too big, KDP is going to let you know, and it's
Yep.
like, okay, shrink it down or do this,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
it's user friendly, I would say.
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, so KDP allows you to be an independent author. There are other platforms as well. KDP is the one that I have continuously used since I'm trying to remember the first one, maybe 2014 or
Hmm.
before. And it gives you your templates. All you have to
Hmm.
do is, set your margins
Yep.
accordingly. You take your
The
writings,
size of your
cut and
books.
paste, put it
Hmm.
in there, right? You get to choose the size of your book. Speaking of which, you chose what is that? Eight and a
Eight
half by 11 and a
by
half.
11.
Okay.
Hmm.
Why did you choose that size versus my books? I chose 5.5 by 8.5. I chose small. Why did
Right.
you choose that size?
Initially, it was to give people space to write, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for my next book, I think I will do smaller, because I wanted to be able to, like, throw it in your bag and
Yep.
make it more travel friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was the initial thought. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, next book, I learned,
Yep.
and it served
Yep.
its purpose, but I would like for it to be smaller next
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And that's exactly why I did it because I,
Hmm.
I did. I wanted people to be able to carry it
Yeah.
wherever they went and that it wasn't so cumbersome,
Right.
right?
That's why my clients was coming with them rolled up.
Hold up. That's right.
Too big.
That's right. Now, look, so we have various books, right? We have our ebook, we have our printed book. Have you considered doing audio?
You brought that to me a couple of years ago.
Would
I
I have done
don't.
that? Go ahead.
Yes, you would. I don't know if I don't know how I feel about it, because I want them to, like, read it and process it on their own. I don't want to like my infliction, not infliction. What's
Your
my tone?
inflections, your tone.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm.
my tone to sway them either way, because these are questions. It's not like I'm reading like a hip hop
Hmm.
tale.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I want them to hear themselves as opposed to hearing me when they're
mhm,
processing the
mhm,
question. So I don't know
mhm.
if I would do an ebook. I mean,
Okay,
a
so
audio
audio.
book.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's a thought. I did do this one, my first one, The
Mhm.
Greatest Soul Journey. I did do it in an audiobook. And
Okay.
that consists of prompts and questions throughout as
Right.
well.
Mhm.
So we just may need to take some time and listen and
Mhm.
see. And for me, it doesn't hurt to give it a try, see how see how it
Mhm.
works, see how people respond to it.
Right.
Um, currently as my mother's caretaker and someone who loved to read, who now
Mhm.
has difficulty reading, she has found a new passion in reading through
Right.
audiobooks.
Mhm.
And so it's an opportunity to reach an audience in a different type of way. I
Mhm.
will say also I've had clients who and people, not just clients, who listen to the audiobook when they're driving and they
Mhm.
stop the prompt and it
Mhm.
gives them reflection time when they're sitting in traffic. And
Okay.
so that's another way for them to be able to do it. Yes. Tanya says that book would be great with a companion website, food for thought.
A
Come on,
companion
activator
website.
part two. Mm-hmm.
Now tell me more. I don't know companion website.
All right.
Tell me.
So, Tanya, if you could just drop a little additional bird seed there, but we
Mm-hmm.
can also talk later as well.
Okay.
But my initial thoughts companion website is any ideas around self love, other types of prompts as you're talking about self love as a lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep,
creating
that's
it.
a
I
point,
know,
Ty.
right? I know on your Instagram, you're kind of, you not kind of, you are doing it on Instagram, but to create a
Mm-hmm.
website that mirrors that type of one stop shop might be interesting, but we'll see what Tanya puts up
Okay.
as well. She said the prompts would be on the website for members, folks who bought the book. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Great
Okay.
idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, questions? Oh, look at this. Yes, very true. Also gives opportunity for community and one to one membership engagement.
Very true. Mm-hmm.
That is so true. And I'm thinking that would be a great follow up for your cycles, your blueprint.
Yeah. So I have a membership that's kind of like dormant. I haven't like pushed it because I'm just one person, but I have all these ideas. I had a membership maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was
Mhm,
like exclusive, prompts and access to events and
mhm,
little inspirational things sent out through like newsletter. But it got the best of me now. Like life, it started life, and
mhm,
I'm like, okay,
mhm,
like,
mhm.
yeah. So
And I'm glad that you mentioned that. So let's tell people a little bit about yesterday was the culmination of something, and then
yes,
you also have some events coming up as well.
yes. So yesterday was week 6 of the last week of my Blueprint for Self Love group, which is a 6-week course for women, teaching them how to love themselves. It was a group model held via Zoom, and I cried, y'all. I was so like, it felt really good to pour into other women. It always feels good to pour into them, but for some reason, this particular cycle felt like we all elevated. It's like I gave it
Mhm,
all that I had. And it's always as if like if I'm shifting the group that I'm in, like at that time, that particular cycle, they shift as well. So
mhm,
it was a
mhm,
really good time. Everyone like fully participated. They were really engaged. They asked for 3 more weeks, and I'm like, no, you gotta go home. Like we can't do this for another 3 weeks. But it's always a really good time to see how
mhm,
women like come together and share experiences and grow together. So
mhm,
it's like every cycle they're like territorial about their own cycle. So if I do self-love socials as well.
mhm,
I just did those a couple of months ago, and so last month I did it at a place called Scent and Sip, and it was a place where you create like candles and lotions and all
mhm,
things related to like
mhm.
self-care and self-love. And they literally were in there and came in cycle 7, oh cycle 8. I'm just like, okay, what is this, a battle, like what is going on here? But it was all in fun and love, and it made me
Mhm.
feel really good that the women are like still coming together, but identifying as within their certain cycles. So
Mhm.
yes, that
Okay.
yesterday was a little
Culmination of
milestone.
cycle 8. So
Yes,
you've been doing this for a while. So this was cycle 8. Cycle 9 will be upcoming next year, most likely.
yes, most likely in the spring.
Okay. All right. So
Hmm.
they can follow your social media pages to find out when that's coming. What
Yep.
else? Let me see here. We have a comment from Dr. Wade says, sounds like how to heal from a heartbreak would be an excellent for an audiobook.
Okay,
Listeners
Dr.
can
Lee.
feel they have their friend coach present with them, encouraging them throughout the healing journey.
Hmm. Okay, Dr. Lee.
Okay. I co-sign that.
I'm
Yes.
sure you do. Yeah.
It's a very, very good idea. Very good. Thank you, Dr. Wade. All right. So we have that to look forward to in the spring.
Yes.
Any
Mhm.
self love socials or any other events coming up
So
between
we
now
have
and the
ours.
end of the year?
Hmm. So we have the November Self Love Social is this Sunday. You and I
Mhm,
are going to do a live podcast in my office. Whoop, whoop.
mhm. Oh,
Where
Tanya,
women.
excuse me. Tanya said that is so true. Dr. Wade winning. She said, Dr. Wade winning. She said, I co sign that as well.
Okay, it's 3-1. Guess I have to do it.
If anyone else would like to co sign, please put in the
I just everybody.
chat co
It's just
sign.
done. And she said, no need. I feel attacked. It's all right. It's all right.
All right, go ahead. So next Sunday,
So this Sunday,
this Sunday,
is it
excuse
this
me.
Sunday?
Yeah, it's this Sunday, 11/12, November 12th.
Yes. Okay. So this Sunday, we are going to do a live podcast in my office for
Mhm.
intimate, study of women. We'll talk about all things that we talk about.
Yes.
We haven't decided on a topic, but it's going to be a time. So that's this Sunday, from 11 to 1 in my
Mm-hmm.
office. And the link
Mm-hmm.
for that event is the first link in my bio on Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, Deana Davis underscore LSW.
Mm-hmm.
And then in January 2024, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
have, you excited? You
I
dancing in your seat.
am.
You didn't even get there yet. So I had this amazing idea to create a formal dinner for women, right at the top
Mm-hmm.
of the year, and it's called the Abundant Dinner. And
Mm-hmm.
you and I have been talking about this, us being in this abundant space, and of course, I want to
Mm-hmm.
share it with
Mm-hmm.
everyone. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to create what will be the first edition of the Abundant Dinner, and
Mm-hmm.
where it's all women. We get dressed up in formal attire and go to a nice upscale restaurant, and we set the tone for the year. So we call in
Mm-hmm.
all of the abundant energy, and we, prepare for an abundant year together. We break bread
Mm-hmm.
together in
That's right.
fellowship.
Let us break bread together. Yes.
Yes, on earth.
That's right. Yes.
That's how
Yes.
we went to Catholic school. Mm.
Okay, exactly. It's coming all the way out.
Yes, through and through.
Oh, Leslie said the abundant dinner sounds fantastic.
Yes. So I'm
It,
working on locking in a location and everything this
mhm.
week because I done told way too many people and so many people are excited. So I'm just like, okay, we really got to do this
Mhm.
now.
That's right. You put it in
So
motion.
it's going to happen one way or another. And yeah, people are really excited. I'm excited.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be a really good time.
Yes, yes. So if people would like to join us this Sunday on November 12th from 11 to 1, be sure to go to the links in her bio
Hmm.
so that you can register for the event. You must register ahead of time because
Please.
it is limited capacity. And I know we are running out of tickets very quickly. So
Mhm.
please be sure to check out the links in her bio. Give us the links again, please.
The links, well, the social media
Yeah,
handles.
social media
Okay.
handles.
So for Instagram and TikTok, it is the same. Deana Deana Davis underscore LSW.
Mm. I'm putting it in the chat right now. All right, so you can definitely check that out. And you said first link in the first link.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm. In the
okay,
bio.
got
Mhm.
it. Now for them, obviously some people have already gone to Amazon to purchase some books. So we thank you for that. Where else, if they wanna go onto social media, can they get through it through your links as well, through your social media
Yes.
handles?
Yes, you can. Mhm.
Okay,
I'm
both
also
of them.
working on like, yes, both of them have the same link tree links with
Mm-hmm.
everything linked. I'm also working on merchandise with the tagline of self love is a lifestyle. Some
Mm-hmm.
people have been requesting that as well, so I'm working on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Anything else that you would like to tell our listening audience today?
No, I think you pulled it all out of
You
me.
think?
No, I don't have anything else. It's really been good. I've never had an interview in regards to my book. I always just, stated what it was. So this was a
Mhm.
first. So thank you.
You are most welcome. All right, everyone. So definitely join us tomorrow because what's
Yes,
coming up tomorrow?
the greatest blueprint is tomorrow.
That's right. Right here on Ask Dr. Walls 525 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be doing the greatest blueprint. Of course, I'll send out announcements about that as well, but be sure to
Mhm.
check us out there. Be sure also, please, to send this replay out to
Mhm.
friends, families, loved ones, those who need to answer some of these questions that were shared during this segment, but also
Yeah.
encourage them, obviously, to get the book as well so that they can start this healing journey and the self awareness journey. All right.
For sure.
Right. And I like the fact that you also encourage. Let me ask you, have you created a companion journal yet for the self love journey?
No, I haven't. You guys are giving me a lot of work to
That's right.
do.
So
I'll
I
get on it.
Yes, yes, yes. And I have so many other things coming up as well. We
Yes.
have this afternoon at 6 p.m. I have another author. Her name is Lee Kavanaugh, and that her genre is very different. So we were talking about werewolves and stuff like that. I know your
Oh,
face
I
like,
need to
boy,
listen.
okay, look. So I'm super excited to talk with her. I had the opportunity to meet her at the Collingswood Book Festival on
Mhm.
October 7th. And so it come back, you have those paranormal sci-fi type authors, and some people really love that. So be
Yeah.
sure to have people join us. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Ask Dr. Wallace 525 on YouTube, please be sure to do so. You can see the live link for the next show is there. Please be sure to share it out as well. I have some testimony Mondays coming up with Professor Tanya Evans. If you didn't catch her show, I just did her show last week on November
Mhm.
1st with her new book. I don't have it sitting in front of me. Actually, that's not true. I do have it sitting in front of me on my Kindle. So Digital Money Demystified. You definitely want to check that book out as well because there's all this cryptocurrency. Here we go. Digital money. Oh, I just turned the page. All right, here we go. So
Mhm.
you can be sure to check out her book. Also, another great book that share with family and friends because this digital money and the cryptocurrency, it's not going anywhere. So this is a
Mhm.
language that we need to understand. She has her Advantage Evans Academy to also
Mhm.
help with that as well. As you can see, always bringing on educators here to educate. This is what Planners Knowledge is about. It's about educating, it's about encouraging, empowering, and entertaining as well.
Yes.
Let's see, who else do I have coming up? Oh, Friday. I have SK Kaba. That's coming on at 3 p.m. She picks up really kind of where Lynn Harris left off. And if
Mm.
those of you remember Lynn Harris, so her focus is really about LGBTQ
Mm.
romance and lifestyle. That's what her books are about. So that's going to be this Friday at 3 p.m. Let's see what else. I didn't even talk about my books. My babies, Froggy T and Bunny, The Adventures of
Mhm.
Froggy T and Bunny. They are available. The four books. There's the reunion. There is Bunny Gets Bullied, Feeling Feelings, and the latest one that just came out in October is Froggy Foo and Mungu. So be sure to check those out.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I have my other ones, which is The Greatest Soul Journey and Live by the Spirit, both workbook style journals. As you see, Deana Davis and I, we are definitely into people processing and reflecting and learning and growing. So we make sure that's incorporated in the books and even in my adult children's books. And I say yes, adult children's books as the number one self-proclaimed author of
Yes.
adult children's books throughout the multiverse. Yes. So,
Not the universe.
the
Multiverse.
multiverse. I'm number one in all spaces and places.
Mhm.
So, but I
Times and
want.
dimensions.
That's right. That's right. Wanting to make sure that people, that inner child, right, stays alive and active, and creating space in the back of each book for you to process and increase your self awareness. All right. So I think those are all my announcements. Come back this evening. Join me at 6 o'clock as I talk to author Lee Kavanaugh. But first and foremost, we're going to say a tambourine thank you to author Deana Davis, LSW. Thank you for going on your self love journey, becoming
Mhm.
a self love advocate
Yes.
and a
You
self
added, I didn't even think
love.
about that. Okay.
Yes, yes. As you said, this is your crown. You received that call and you chose to answer it, and you chose to invite other people on the journey with you. And so we thank you for that, because that is definitely what is needed in this space and throughout all multiverses. throughout,
You're welcome.
throughout all spaces, self-love is real. All right. Everyone, until we meet again, I'll see you this afternoon. Have a great day. God bless. And as always, continue to live your greatest life.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.